Today we are going to be making the rear panel for the master cutoffs and breakers. I've got this 6 by 18 inch piece of aluminum. I'm going to be mounting everything up to it just to hold it all in place. So here I have all my holes drilled out. Getting ready to drill out the larger ones for the 4-auger wire that needs to come through on those 4 points down at the bottom. And these, I went ahead and marked some punch points. I'm going to drill out and put grommets in those spots, so it's already ready for any future upgrades. Here's what the panel looks like all mocked up. Got my 2 battery cutoffs for the rear batteries, the breakers for each one. I've just got pilot holes right now for the entrance and exit wires. This is what it looks like with the parts on there. So I have the vinyl wrap on here now. I cut a piece of rubber edging, shaped it for the corners, and ran it completely all the way around so it has a nice rubber edge as well. And I've got rubber grommets in here to keep the wires from chafing that are going to be running through. Now these, I'm going to go ahead and tighten them down. All their connections are on the outside. I don't have to worry about them. Same with this. But these, I can't lock them down. I'll have to be able to lift them up and get under here to put the studs on. And I now have the wiring done on the back panel. So everything is hooked up, and I'll get this mounted into place when I do the rear casting deck. But here you can see my power coming in for the motor from the battery, come out to the breaker, and this one goes straight back in to go to the motor, or to the engine. This one comes in from the house battery to its own breaker. It comes around. I've got it splitting right here. This will go up to the front to that fuse box. This one, of course, comes in here for the automatic bilge and the tilt trim unit. I didn't have space on the other one for those. Now here what I have, instead of just an aluminum sheet, this is a aluminum composite. So it's got a plexiglass core with thin sheets of aluminum on either side. It's actually a black color on both sides. So what I did, I got a reverse version for my panels, for my dash panels, and these are stuck on the back. I actually use spray adhesive to actually put them on here so they don't move at all. I'll be able to cut all my lines and everything with no issue of it shifting on me. And then I've This will be on the back side, actually against the panels, or against the boat, and the other side will have the same vinyl covering as that rear panel. Sorry about that, thought my camera was recording the whole time. I got my panels cut out. I'll get them cleaned up on the edges and start drilling out the holes and the cutouts and everything. But my panels are cut out and shaped. Now I'm getting ready to put the vinyl wrap over the top, and I'm going to use that spray adhesive just like I did that back panel. Here you can see we got it loaded in. I don't have these secured down yet. I'm waiting on the small screws that are going to go all around it and actually hold this tucked in underneath. And I don't have to worry about a border. And then there's with the stereo in there. And I don't have the front one yet because it's mostly going to be screws holding it in place anyway. The rear, or the components attached to it, aren't going to be holding on to the boat. They'll just be on the panel. So what I did is I took that adhesive and I ran just a bit on the other side, both right here and on the material itself. Let it tack up, and then I folded it over. And then all I gotta do is run the screws in to secure it. All the rest of it is secured. Got my stereo right here. There's my USB ports, 12-volt port. My dash is all mounted. Horn, manual bilge pump, driving lights and rear lights. Of course, all my other switches here. Interior lights, deck lights basically. My side lights and my transom lights. And we got a trim switch right here to be able to control the trim. And these are my engine controls that I'm going to be wiring in. It took me a while to figure out all the wiring for it. But instead of using a key, flip the switch on. You got your choke, you got your engine start, and then when this cuts, it's actually cutting power to the white wire as it's supposed to. And I also have the panel up front kind of mocked up. It's sitting a little low from where it will be, but that's a basic idea of how it's going to be set up. I've been waiting for my panels to get installed before I put these in. These worked out great. They're just kayak carry handles. Inverted the attachment point, and I got a nice grip to help get out the seat from the low sitting position. I do have the tilt trim hooked up, as well as the foot control as well. So I've got that part wired up so far. I still need to hook up the rest of these wires though, and get started on that. Here's a look at the back side of the dash. I'm getting ready to go ahead and start the wiring on here, get the gauges and the switches all hooked up. I already do have those two battery gauges installed and hooked up to the batteries. So they're already set to go. There's a look at the other switches, and then I have the trim switch, which, yes, those jumpers are a little short, but the trim is all set up and working. Just got to add in that ground as well, and then I'll get the light working on the switch. And then I also have the stereo and outlets here, and then up front as well. I got to finish that up. Here I've got the panel mounted up, or the bracket for the additional fish finder when I do get it, but I wanted to go ahead and have everything hooked up so I didn't have to deal with tightening these down or anything. I've worked on some of the wiring. Right now I'm trying to heat shrink all the terminals. I've got this right here. It is a low heat. It's more meant for heat shrink and barely wire terminals, so don't expect it to do much more. It's the one that they got over at AutoZone, but it's at least getting the job done with these tight spaces. As you see, it's only this big on-off switch, but it will at least get the job done. Getting my last wire connections tightened up in here. See here, I had one fuse blow due to a bad component, but got these light up fuses, and these things are great. You can see right there that it lights right up, showing that it's blown. Makes it real easy to identify which one is bad. So we now have the dash together. You can see the green bulbs I put in to bring that out with the rest of the dash. I got a little bit of wiring issue to take care of with the neutral safety switch and some of my automation, but everything on here is set up. We got the driving lights, rear lights, and then of course the interior and the transom lights. I got to get the wire plugged back in. It ended up tugging out while I was working underneath, but this is about where she's at right now. Stay tuned for the next video. I'll be putting in the rear casting deck, and here soon we'll be finishing the rub rail as well on the outside. So that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you aren't already, so you can get notifications about my future videos, and I'll see you in the next one.